Good afternoon, everybody. This is Soap and the Soap Channel. We're going to be talking today about a couple of things that we think that should be introduced to the public. I have my two beautiful goddaughters here, Sheen and Zaywick Cosby. Ladies, you can go ahead and introduce yourselves. This is my oldest goddaughter. Sheen, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Sheen. I am Randy's goddaughter.
All right. That's fine. This is my oldest goddaughter, everybody. Zaywick, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Zaywick. I'm his middle oldest. Wait,
She's the
middle oldest.
she's the middle goddaughter. So there are three goddaughters that I have. Well, actually four goddaughters from another friend of mine that I have. But nevertheless, she is the second oldest, and then we have their sister who is not here with us today, but she is the youngest out of the godchildren or the godchildren of this group. Okay, so we're just going to talk about a couple of things today. Glad that you all can join us. So we're going to jump right into it. Got a couple of things that we want to talk about because these are this is the youth that's coming into the world, right? And generally we try to talk about, or would like to talk about, some things that generally they wouldn't talk to most people about. They say their parents or whatever the case may be, right? Because sometimes it's hard to talk to the parents, right? And so we want to try to, broaden the board of being able to communicate and have the communication with family, right? And so what better way to do that than to just have casual conversation with your family or the youth about certain things that they like and certain things that they don't like, right? So I think I like to open up today just kind of talking about some things in general in life about just trying to succeed. My oldest goddaughter is now in the workforce. I particularly say that a lot of times that the youth now, some of y'all just don't want to work. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some of y'all just do not want to work. And I for some reason, I just do not understand. But that's because of the generation I come from, and what we would try to do to make it in this world. But it seems a lot of times, all right, I'm not saying all of you, but it's just, it seems to be the society that we're in today, and how they don't want to work. So what I can talk about, kind of start off with that as it relates to, what do you think about today's society, Shane? We'll start with you. And how do you feel about today's work society and the difference between your generation and our generation as it relates to the work ethic?
I would say the biggest difference is technology. So with the new age of technology and stuff like Instagram, our generation, we have more outlets to make money versus than to do certain types of labor in order to make it. You could actually be out here freelancing and making money and traveling, and I think a lot of people have taken that route. So it's just different ways to make money. And also too, with Instagram, it's social media platforms, you have the room to make and start up your own businesses. So you see more people our age going the entrepreneur route too. So I think that's what it is.
Okay. And so you said people our age. Would you like to tell the viewers how old you are?
I am 26 years old.
Okay, so you're 26. Okay, all right. So Zaywick, what do you think? Because it's from a different perspective. Obviously, this is your older sister, but it's coming from a different perspective because there's a couple of year gap in there. How do you feel about today as it relates to when we were coming up and our work ethic and things of that nature, as opposed to what it is that you guys are doing coming up in your era as well? Because I don't know, the difference between Generation X. I kind of know, but don't know. All right, so don't beat me up about that. But they kind of may know more than I do about that kind of stuff. So what do you think about in your era as well?
I think it's mostly the social media, and even our generation want to start making our own businesses, building our own businesses.
Because that really is what it is. Like
I
that's
feel
just
like
like
everyone
everything.
want to make like have their own business. Like, you know.
It's so many different outlets to like make a business. Like I remember I got stuck for a minute. Like I'm a mom,
Okay.
so I got stuck for a minute. Once I had Samahi, and like I was coming up with so many different like business like ideas, but it's just way easier to get things started now. I feel like business wise. I'm not saying that it wasn't like that for like y'all, but I just feel like we have more outlets to like stuff like that.
Right, like the social media.
Yeah, social media, and then also too like with social media, it's like creating a whole new thing of marketing. So think about it like that, and that's why I think that like being younger and like for us having like multiple ways to make money on social media, that kind of like creates that. But I don't know. I do feel like too, like people our age are a little bit. I'm not gonna say we're more creative, but it's like we're a little bit innovative. I don't want to be like that because y'all was innovative too. But
Yeah, don't do us like
Yeah,
that.
well,
'Cause
yeah.
we had to be creative,
Yeah,
and
I
people
mean,
before us had to be creative.
yeah.
Especially getting some of the treatment that they got. So they definitely had to be pretty creative.
Yeah.
Just a different type of creativity, I think, for the most part. Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like it's a big thing with like creativity in terms of like being a artist or certain type of artist, and maybe that is kind of like broughtened up or like risen up a certain type of way because of social media. But it's a lot of creative people out there that I don't know, it could be social media because now we just can see it more. Like you have a platform to showcase what you can do,
Okay.
and people try to capitalize on that.
Yeah. Well, definitely, I see a lot of social media outlets and things of that nature. It seems to be one of the definite ways to go. Obviously, we're on social media now, right? So, or trying to be on social media with this platform, and I can definitely see some of those differences as it relates to our generation and your generation and all these different social media platforms and things of that nature. And so,
I will say this outside of that, like with our generation too, like. My dad likes to say like we kind of want to be catered to a certain type of way, or like it's just like a different type of situation there, and we are kind of bullheaded in that sense, kind of just like, okay, I'm not going to do this, and if I do this, then this is what needs to be in place for me. Like it's just like we kind of demand certain things, like we're not gonna settle for this, that, and the third. Like
so speaking of catered to, so our generation like to say a lot of times that this generation is privileged. You know what I'm saying? It's like like you said a minute ago, I ain't gonna do such and such or whatever the case may be. And for us, we was like, we had to do it. If they told us to do it, then it wasn't really that much question about it. We just did it, or whatever the case may be. But in this generation, it's like, no, I ain't doing it. And why do I have to do it?
That amount of money, I'm not about to do that.
Right.
What you want me to do this? Why?
Right.
I can't come to work this type of way. Why?
Right. Everything is the why. You know what I'm saying? And why do I have to do this? And why do I have to do that? Or whatever the case may be. Well, for us, it was like, okay, do such and such, and we did it, and we found out later why we were doing it a lot of times, right? So being the case, and I'm glad you brought that segue in, because I like to talk about this here as well. As far as the privilege goes, and as far as because I have another one of my surrogate sisters or whatever the case may be, because they say that we don't she said that she thought that he should have left when he graduated from high school, whatever the case may be. And he told her, he said nah, Ma, we don't look at things like that now. We don't look at things like that nowadays. Now, back in the day, my grandmother said, son, you gotta get your A out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I just knew that's the way it was. So, I had to start taking care of myself. And when I graduated from high school, I was gone. You know what I'm saying? But the youth today, they don't think that way, you know what I'm saying? So you guys elaborate or can tell me, that's her son, by the way. He's the one that's making all that noise, guys. So please forgive us, all right? But guys, you like elaborate on that because help me understand that part of it because for us, you know, it wasn't a question. It was like you knew that when it was time to go or when you got ready to high school, it was like, I guess I gotta go and start taking care of myself. So what do you guys think about that? Because she said that, she's like, nah, Mom. So she asked him, she was like, well, I know you think you're supposed to be here. And he was like, you know, until I'm ready to leave. So, you know, what do y'all think about that? Zaywick, I'll let you start with that this time.
I feel like every parent is different when it comes to parenting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, like, my honest opinion, I feel like you shouldn't like rush the kid out as soon as they graduate.
Oh, hell no!
But
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Go
I would
ahead.
say, you know, not until you see, like, I don't know, you see them working, you see them having a plan, like you're talking to them, you see they have a plan, you know, I would, like, you know, wait a little bit. Now, if I see they're getting comfortable, like they're not learning anything, or they don't have a plan, they're not in school or anything, then it's like, okay, you need to go, or you need to figure something out. But then, I don't know, I feel bad, because, like, I don't want to just send them out there. I don't know.
Okay. Sheen, I'm gonna let you go ahead. I'm gonna let you elaborate on it, and then I'll
I
rebuttal.
can definitely piggyback off what she's saying. Like, I think it is subjective, like, depending on the parent, because, like, it's some people our age that was like, okay, their parents were on that. Like, when you get finished with school, you out of here. And they were out. And I knew some people in high school that was living on their own. So, I mean, like, it's not
My
that
boyfriend is one of those people. By the way, he had to go as soon as they did.
But that's true though. Like, it's really not that big of a difference there. I feel like it just like, and then there's some kids that like I know went to school with. They left school at a certain time, like graduated or probably graduated early, and they just started voyaging, like going out and just like traveling, like I said, like and doing different things like that. So I don't think that it's necessarily like that for us. I don't necessarily think that. Like, it's the same. It's the same.
Really?
Yeah.
Because, and then another thing is, it's a lot when you're like, you know, when you're in the adulthood, like, that some parents don't teach you about, like, credit, or, you know, like, I don't know, like, I feel like they should talk to their kid about this stuff before they just send them out there. Because there's a lot of stuff that you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't remember anybody telling me about credit or anything like that when I was getting ready to leave the house or whatever. A lot of those things I had to just figure out on my own. You know what I mean? Now, sometimes, you know, in society, you just got to kick them out. You know what I'm saying? It's like the birds flying. You know what I'm saying? Mom is like, she's fed them. She's, you know, put all the little worms and food and fish and whatever it is in their mouth. And it's like, okay, let me see. Let me check on them wings. Yeah, them wings look pretty good. Hold your arm up. Yeah, you got a couple of good feathers there. All right, boop, out you go. And
I definitely still feel like in your, like, with y'all generation, like, it was some parents that was kind of like, all right, you know, whenever y'all got y'all stuff a certain type of way. Or maybe I am wrong, because I don't know.
Well, now here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think that, you know, we were getting taught a lot of lessons along the way prior to us graduating and then getting pushed out or whatever. Like, we was getting beat downs and stuff. You guys can relate. We were getting beat downs and stuff, telling us what we should and shouldn't do. You ain't gonna disrespect this, that, and the other. Be a man of your word, or be a good woman, and all this good stuff, or whatever the case may be. And then all those other things we had to pick up in life. So in other words, like, I don't think, or let me say this here, and it's different for everybody, you know what I'm saying? All of these, of course, are just opinions, or my opinion, whatever. And, you know, my opinion is just like, you know, a-holes, or whatever the case may be. Everybody has one, right? And so, but, you know, they were teaching us things along the way, and then some of the stuff that should have been taught to us, they didn't even know. You know what I mean? So it was hard for them to even do that for us because they didn't know. We know, truth be told, a lot of stuff has happened over the years that we all are now having our third eye open to. You know what I'm saying? You know, things about credit, things about redlining, things about, you know, just all types of things about, you know, piggybacking as it relates to your credit. It's just a whole numerous thing. Well, our family didn't know anything about those things, and most of the stuff that they learned or they were teaching us, they was getting it from, of course, their mother and father, you know what I'm saying? And so the gap now is you guys are just on something totally different, you know, right now. Which brings me to another question. So, and those were good responses. Which brings me to another question though. So we were having a conversation the other day. Now, I assume at this particular point now that the conversation has changed based on something you said the other day. And one of the questions that we had, or it wasn't necessarily a question, this was a conversation that we were having with their mom, okay? And so my goddaughter and her sister, both my goddaughters and sister, they were talking to their mom about, because she's getting ready to leave the house, you know what I mean? This one, I don't know when she's leaving, but it'll be
really soon.
yeah. Don't you believe it? Okay. They had a conversation with the mom, and I thought it was very interesting. So the conversation was about my goddaughter leaving, and so her mother has this furniture in the home, right? And so, yeah. So she has this furniture home, you know what I'm saying? This is a great conversation, I think. So she has this furniture home. So her son, you know, he does little things. He's jumping on, he's messing up the arms. And her mom is, you remember back in the day when we had that furniture in there, we had that plastic and stuff over that furniture. Well, nobody's doing that anymore, obviously, you know what I mean? And so nobody typically sits in that room hardly or whatever, if at all. You know, everybody goes into, that's the dining,
it's like another
formal area that everybody typically sits in. Nevertheless, mom is like, now she's like, when you get ready to leave, you gonna get me some more furniture. You know what I'm saying? So that's what her mom says. So when she said that, now these two are debating because her mom is saying, hey, give me X amount of dollars for that furniture, and then you could just take it with you or whatever the case may be. And then they were like, mama, that's just too much money or whatever. So her mom was gonna give her at half price, whatever the case may be. So at that time, whatever the case may be, tell us what, tell the viewers about what it was and what your thought process was when you were saying at that time about that furniture. Because you were chiming in on it too. You was like, mama, no, man.
Well, no, I just feel like if it's something that you had already, you're supposed to, take the price down. I didn't know how much it initially was, so.
Yeah, so like she was saying 1,000. And I'm like, if I'm gonna spend
But that's
1,000,
fine if it was more than that.
it depends on
She
how
said
much
it was more.
She did say it was more, but I just feel like if I'm gonna spend 1,000, I want to spend it on something that's new. But when we talked about it,
and it looks new, you guys. I mean, it really does. But it's not new, right? But
I was saying 500. She was saying 1,000. But we end up rounding it off to 1,000. But this is how we end up doing it. She threw in the chairs, but she had to throw in something else, and I was like, okay.
Wait, threw in what chair? Because it's the whole set.
It's
the love
chair.
seat.
It's the love seat, and then it's the what's that? Like a regular couch.
Yes, couch.
Couch and the love
seat.
And then she threw in like no, she ain't throwing the lamp. So all that's gonna stay. She threw in like a TV stand.
Okay, so TV stand. All right. So as they are going back and forth with their mother about this particular item, I am listening to them, right? And so I'm listening to them, and I'm laughing and joking with them as well. But in my mind, I was thinking, okay, because I'm their godfather, so I'm always looking at it from a different perspective. And so I'm having here now, so this is the perspective that I had during that time. The perspective for me was, because I'm old school, whatever, I'm like, okay, even though your mother was asking for whatever it was she was asking for, the chair, tell me from the time you were born to the time right now, what is it for both of you that you think that you could even pay your mother back that would pay her for all that she's done for you from the time you were born to the point that you are right now? Do you think you can ever pay her back for everything that she's done for you as a mother?
It's no amount of money that can kind of equal up to that.
Right. So my point is, well, because she's your mother and she's asking for it, just give her what she asks for.
If my mama said $10 million right now, I ain't gonna be able to help.
Well, it depends.
$10 million. Okay, that now, yeah, I wouldn't pay $10 million because she didn't pay $10 million. Okay, but I mean, you get what I'm saying though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so whatever she's asking for, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know, she ain't gonna try to railroad you or anything.
I don't like that thing. I don't like that.
Okay,
I don't like
well, tell me why you don't like it. Come on, tell
The
me.
reason why I don't like it is
Why?
because you know I done studied the motherhood now.
Yeah. Okay,
I
so you
feel
should be
like
able to, elaborate on it.
I feel like this. I didn't ask to be here. I didn't
Okay.
say why, mama.
Yeah.
I didn't say, mama, go ahead and push me out and put me into this world, feed me, clothe me, and make me somebody. She decided to give me life. Now I'm very appreciative of that.
Okay.
But I feel like, you know, parents can't hang that over the kid's head. Like, you did your job, what you were supposed to do. Now I feel like in return, I can definitely look out for her the way that she has looked out for me, because at this point she's not gonna do nothing to get older. So the cycles is going to change. I can deal with that, but just to be like, okay, because when I the way I interpret that is like, okay, whatever she asks for, you should be just willing and like, you know, just to do it, just because of like the way you have been raised and like her bringing you up and like that, you know, form of parenting just cannot be repaid. But I don't feel like that is necessarily fair, because it's your job to do this as a parent. That's like, I can't expect for my son when he gets older to be like, okay, or I can't be like a certain type of way with him, like, okay, I raised you, I did this, I done sacrificed, and you gonna do this, that, and the third, because, and you should want to do it because, you know, like, I did all this. It's just kind of like, I don't think that's fair.
Okay, so is it fair that, you know, you guys, because typically once you take care of your children, you typically take care of them up to they're 18 years old, right? You know, that's what you typically do. You take care of them. Where are you guys living at now?
But
You said that you were how old now?
I am 26, but that
Okay.
does not mean
No,
that
no,
I'm
but-
living like just completely off of my parents.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
well, you only just recently started being able to, you know,
I've been doing this
you,
since 18.
well,
Really since I graduated high school and got a job.
but you haven't been consistent for long periods of time. You have been helped along the way.
Not financially.
What do you mean not financially? You pay any rent?
No, but I'm saying though,
No,
if it's
that's
like, if it's anything that I need, if it's anything I need to go get, I work and I get it. You can ask my parents. It's rare that or seldom that we ask them for
Okay.
certain things. They don't.
Yeah, but
that's not them.
I just means like what I mean, like all the things that you're supposed to take care of yourself as an adult, you guys don't do or have not done. Your father, maybe he's taking care of the phone bills.
That's it.
What about the rent,
Yeah.
the light bill, right?
Yes.
Like gas,
Gas.
if you got not gas or whatever it is, but you guys are occupying that space or whatever the case may be, and when you occupy that space, then you burn whatever you burn. If you're not there, then that means those particular things are not as typically the way that it would be with a bigger family. Then that's elementary. You know what I'm saying? However, that along with the life lessons, whatever the case may be. Now, nobody is asking for a pat on the back for doing their job. That's our job, or that's their job to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, up to a certain point, whatever the case may be, by law. You know what I'm saying? And so, I guess my point or thought process or partial point to some of this was that, hey, okay. You know what I'm saying? Even though you may not agree with it, because your mom, there's plenty of things your mom probably have not agreed with over the course of your life, but they would do it simply because they wanted you to be happy. You know what I'm saying? So in that sense, it's like, man, I ain't trying to pay her this money. Okay, mom, here. You know what I'm saying? And it's a done deal with it, because you probably gonna wind up getting something later on anyway.
Right, that's the thing. Like, do you really want the
I necessarily didn't want it, but because of the fact that, somebody was on the edge of the chair.
Her son
is,
he's a little kid, you know what I'm saying? So that's what he does, you know what I'm saying? He may be on there. That's what, for some reason, he has a tick about, being on the arm of that chair, you know what I'm saying? Jumping on the chair and stuff like that there. So now the arm is not like as fluffy as it was. Now it's kind of flat. And so, you know, he's
So I got a question. So if we took this, like, cause she had, like, if say if I was like, it's like I ain't gonna pay you, I ain't gonna give you nothing for it, I don't want it, and she took me to court, would I have to pay however much she spent for that chair?
like, you mean for the original cost?
Yeah, like would I have to pay the original cost for the chair if she was to take me to court for it?
No,
I
you
don't think
wouldn't
so.
have to pay for the original cost because they would deduct. I believe that they would
Yeah,
deduct,
they're gonna
you know,
deduct
time. And stuff like that. But the judge would definitely look at you and be like, well, over time, if it just stayed there, nobody was getting onto it, and you agreed that your son was doing whatever he's doing to it, then she would say, okay, well, you should pay for, you know, whatever it is that she's asking for, aside from the time frame that she bought it, whatever the case may be. And if it costs $2,000 and she's asking for $1,000, then the judge probably would, you know, grant her that. Yeah.
Okay.
He or she would probably grant that. But I digress on some of that. But that's great conversation because, you know, in this day and age, you know what I mean. You know, these are the conversations that, you know, we like to have. But I like to go more in depth into the minds of, you know, our young adults and things of that nature. But let me say this: my goddaughters are they're beautiful women. I'm very proud of them and what they have done and what they have accomplished. They have never been in trouble in the streets or whatever. We were talking last night. We actually had a brief conversation about the book of Isaiah, just kind of some, you know, some spiritual things or whatever that we all are trying to get closer to God and things of that nature. So I am so proud of them. They have an older brother. He's doing well. He's actually he's married with 4 kids now. Takes very well care of his kids. You know, their sister, I'm not talk about her on another show. She needs some work, but you know, but no, but she's great too. You know what I'm saying? She's a teenager now, and so I'll be talking about you know, getting with her as well on some of our you know, YouTube videos as it relates to what she's dealing with, because Nevaeh is now what, 15, 16?
14.
She's 14. Okay, so she's 14. So you can see the age difference as, you know, as it relates. But all of them are doing well. Yeah. Yeah. And so, and then my younger goddaughter here, Zaywick, is doing well for herself, very mature, you know, keeps to herself, stays out of trouble, you know, graduated, all of them have graduated from school, and you know, but for them, it's, you know, it's just kind of slow rolling with them. But I do fault a lot of that on mom and dad for the slow rolling of them, because they were kind of late bloomers. You know, I mean, as far as, you know, driving, I'll show you that video later on, me trying to teach my goddaughter how to drive.
Granted, I do have anxiety, so if you want to talk about
but I did good in that video. I parked the bag.
Oh, who you talking about? Who you talking about?
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, at the first I was scribbling at first, but I did good.
Yeah, she did okay. I probably maybe differ a little bit. You know, I don't think you could squeeze a penny
We
through my
did
cracks
it 2
right there,
times, and I got it right 2 times.
Okay, all right. I'll show you
Well,
the
we
video.
gotta go to the video.
Yeah, we'll have to go to the video on that one. But what I want to do is I want to keep this conversation going, and I want to talk about in our next video is some of the things that, you know, most people, you know, we know that when it comes down to mom and dad, we know that most times the young adults or the children don't want to talk to them about most things. And that's because of how they are sometimes. So sometimes maybe they'll talk to a total stranger as opposed to talking to someone else. So I want to open that platform about that. And maybe the next time we can even talk to either them or some other guest that I may have on the show about what was it like, or did you ever come to conversation, because obviously they're adults now, but so since they're transitioning into adulthood, what is that conversation, or what did that conversation happen? Did you have a conversation with mom, or did you have a conversation with dad about your sex life, or whatever the case may be, and how comfortable you were with that, or having to do it, or if you even have it at all and you just started doing it, or whatever the case may be, right? Because these are conversations that are true conversations to have or whatever, because sometimes we don't have them with them at all. And I think that we need to open that dialogue up to know how they're feeling. And also, What about the conversation on things that they don't want to tell mom and dad because of how they are, and they know if they say it to them, they're gonna may feel some type of way about it. But maybe they can tell someone else about it, and then maybe later on, we can discuss it, and they can see, wow, I never knew you felt like that. You know what I mean? And so we just want to open up that dialogue later on, and try to get, some clarity on a couple of things. So I like to say right now, we're going to cut it right there. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. We're going to be back in a little while. Once again, this is not good. This is not good yet. This is Randy and Soak, SOAK, the Soak channel. All right, we'll be back for the next time. Stay tuned for that next video. So we need no son of a king. All right, the Most High. Thank you, God, for this opportunity. Thank you, God, for allowing us to talk to our viewers. Thank you for my beautiful audience, my lovely goddaughters, who I am so in love with. I love them with all my heart. Guys, we'll see you on the next video. Take care. Hey, God bless. Peace. Yeah, you can go ahead and shut that down. Then we can cut that out.